Can you imagine commuting an hour and a half to 2 hours to help your good friend buy their home while learning on your first real estate transaction? I'm going to share my first closed real estate transaction. And so I live in Orange County, California, and this transaction had me commuting to San Diego, California. Why am I even sharing my experience and making these videos? I didn't feel like I had a lot of support as a brand new agent, and I want to see you succeed as a real estate agent. Being a real estate agent isn't as glamorous or easy as you see on, Selling Sunset. If you look at a lot of the agents on Selling Sunset, they don't actually sell houses. They're influencers. And so most importantly, I really just want to share the lessons that I learned so you can learn from my mistakes and not make the same mistakes. And if you've been enjoying the content on my channel, please subscribe. Okay, here's the background. I'm a brand new solo agent. My brokerage at the time, the main method of training that they provided us was call and text basically everybody you know and ask them this one very important phrase. Do you know anyone that is looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Now you might be laughing because you've probably heard that 1,000 times, but if you think about that, that's like a really weird thing to just ask someone out of the blue, right? Looking back at what I did when I started out, like what I know now, I probably wouldn't do it. But at the time, I didn't know better and I just listened. And so for 2 months, nonstop, I called and texted my friends and family and basically harassed them, asking them who did they know that might be interested in buying, selling, or investing in real estate. And I got lucky. One of my friends, one of my childhood friends, one of my good friends, Trevor, said he was actually interested. Trevor, if you're watching this, I love you, bud. Thank you for that opportunity to get my real estate career started and to help you start building your portfolio. Don't worry, we're going to get you that log cabin sometime soon. And so the catch with working with Trevor to buy his first home was that he lived in San Diego. So he was stationed there, he's in the Navy, and I live in Orange County, California. So this is at least a 1.5 to 2 hour commute. But that didn't matter to me. I was going to do everything in my power to do my best for Trevor, to take care of Trevor. And so here's where the journey begins, right? Lesson number 1 in my real estate journey and in yours is you will need to let people know that you are able to help with their real estate needs. But you don't need to sound like a sleazy used car salesman to do so. You don't have to call and text people during their lunch break every day to just ask them who do they know that's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, right? There's a lot of different ways to show that you can provide value to potential clients. The main takeaway here is that if you can educate and listen to your clients' needs, then you're going to be able to find unique value propositions for them. Something that I found out during this transaction was that Orange County and San Diego actually have different realtor associations. So here in Orange County, I'm a part of OCAR, Orange County Association of Realtors. San Diego has SDAR, San Diego Association of Realtors. Probably wondering, why is that important? Well, Orange County, we use something called a Supra lockbox. In San Diego, they use something called a Century Lock lockbox. So part of showing homes is being able to access them. And also at the time, my broker let me know I would be able to actually complete a transaction in San Diego. She didn't really tell me how. So that's when I had to figure out and problem solve on my own, right? I called the Orange County Association of Realtors, asked them how to get access to the San Diego lockbox. And so that's lesson number 2. If you are going to work in a different county, make sure you have access to the lockbox. Call your association, the one that you're a part of, your local one, and ask them, if I want to get access to a different county, what is the process? In this situation, it's pretty straightforward. I just pay a fee. By paying this fee, I got a temporary access to their lockboxes and the Century Lock system. I think for 6 months or 9 months or a year, something like that. But I did have to pay a small fee. Great. So I got this lockbox situation sorted out. What's next? So on top of actually just going through a real estate transaction for the first time, I also had to learn about the San Diego market. Luckily for me, my roommate from college had moved down to San Diego, and 2 of my teammates from volleyball grew up in San Diego and they moved back. So what did I do? I called everyone, all of my friends in San Diego, to get the local info on the growing areas, the different neighborhoods, and then I also just went down to visit all of them. That leads me to lesson number 3. If you're not working in your local area, you need to get resourceful and you need to figure out and learn as much as you can about that local area if you're going to be trying to work it. Okay, so now I get a good feel for the local market area. And so now I actually need to learn the real estate process. So from a real estate transaction process, here's like the high level timeline. The beginning part is strategy, right? And the goal of strategy is to get ready for the search, right? Establishing a game plan and arranging financing. On top of establishing the game plan and arranging financing, it's important to get the buyer agent agreement so both parties can move forward with confidence. The next part of the process is search. And the goal of the search part is literally find the home. So the steps are look at homes, right? Start searching, figure out which homes that we actually want to tour. And once we find homes that we like, we start making offers. When we're making offers, that leads us into the next portion, contract. And the goal of contract is to negotiate and finalize the purchase. The steps in the contract portion are to open escrow, negotiate contingencies, schedule your home inspection, schedule all inspections, right? Termite, plumbing, home, get an appraisal, and finalize financing. And once that's all done, we can go ahead, move on to closing. And the goal of closing is move into your home, right? Plan the moving logistics, perform your final walkthrough, and complete the closing process. That's just a high level of the real estate process in Southern California. This could be different in your local market. And so obviously I was a little bit overwhelmed, right? Because I'm learning the local market. I'm learning real estate transaction. And on top of that, I'm driving 1.5 to 2 hours every time just to get down to San Diego. And then we're probably touring properties. Then I'm coming back another 1.5 to 2 hours. On these drives, like the commute time wasn't ideal, but I would always just go back to how can I best serve Trevor? Like I'm doing this for one of my good friends and I have to do my best for him. I'm not going to lie. The commute, learning new software, learning new market, juggling, just scheduling all the different tours and learning about the real estate process was a lot. The struggle was real. Comment below if you would be willing to go through this process for a loved one and to close your first real estate transaction. So after many different tours, many hours on the road, we finally found a property that was the perfect one. A 2-bed, 2-bath condo in a great up and coming neighborhood that had garage parking. That's a big deal in the areas we're looking in. Here's a picture of the condo. And so the story about us getting this property under contract was we actually saw it on a Saturday afternoon. We knew it was great, and that I didn't even come back. I wrote the offer that day in San Diego, and we got it basically under contract the next day. So I think we were the first people to tour it, the first offer in. We made an offer that the listing agent accepted right away, or I called her, we talked about it. I basically asked her like, what are the terms that are going to get this done? And she had mentioned to me the seller wants a for sure buyer because she's in escrow on her upleg property. And we knew it was it. So we communicated that with her and we basically locked it up. So after we actually got the property under contract, in the negotiation phase here, I got yelled at by the listing agent. So the reason why I got yelled at by her was I gave her a long list of basically everything wrong with the property from the inspection report, including missing light bulbs and batteries. And I said, these are reasons why we should get, a $2,000 credit or something like that. And knowing what I know now, I wouldn't have included, 10 different things on that list. I would have just called out 3 or 4 major items and asked for that credit for those 3 or 4 major things. But in the end, we did still get some seller credit back for some of the repairs. So it did work out. That leads me to lesson number 4. Don't ever be afraid to go to bat for your clients. Your job is to get what your clients want for your clients. And that might lead to some very uncomfortable conversations between you and another agent. And that's okay. that's your job. I've definitely been yelled at by other agents, and that's okay because I'm not serving the other agent. I'm representing my client, and I know you will too. So after we get through the negotiations, we actually end up having a smooth escrow, right? Like appraisal comes back at value, everything's good with the property. In the closing process, I actually asked the listing agent at the time, like, oh, are we all going to be getting together? Like me, you, the buyers, the seller, and we're going to be at the closing table. Little did I know, California, that doesn't happen, right? So loan docs are signed. They typically send a mobile notary, or the buyers can go into the escrow office and sign the loan documents there if they don't want to pay for a mobile notary. But it was really funny when I called the listing agent and said, like, oh, are we going to be getting together at the closing table? She kind of asked, like, what do you mean by that? So if you're in California, just know that we don't all get together at the closing table. I think in other states you might, but it doesn't happen here. So we finally close. Trevor gets keys to his new place, and this was a really proud moment for me and Trevor, right? This is like a full circle. We are adults now. We've known each other since we were kids. A really huge, proud moment for the both of us. And so Trevor was so happy with all my hard work that he actually referred me another friend in San Diego. And the friend that he referred me actually might be the most important lesson to this story. And I'm going to share 3 parts to the last lesson number 5, right? So the first part is do such an amazing job for your clients that they refer you new clients without asking, right? If you do your best for them and you do a good job, they're going to want that same service for their loved ones. And so part 2, the friend that Trevor referred me, she was also looking in San Diego. Her financing wasn't 100% there, but I didn't know better at the time. And we spent a good amount of time touring properties, looking at properties, and never actually closing on one. So I spent a ton of time on the road, scheduling tours, looking at properties, and she never bought. The financing didn't make sense, and she wasn't really 100% committed to buying. So the second part of the lesson is when you get a new potential client that's looking to buy a property, make sure they're able and committed to do so. And there's like a little caveat with that, because if someone loses their job, like they're no longer able to potentially buy, right? But just make sure that they're able and willing to buy. And then the last part 3 of lesson number 5 is that as you become a more experienced agent, make sure you have a process and systems in place to make sure that the clients that you're working with will achieve success, right? I didn't know, and I didn't have a system or process to know that she wasn't going to be able to buy a home. And so having these systems and processes in place will help you save time and provide better service to your clients. Summary of the 5 lessons here. Lesson number 1. People are probably going to know that you work in real estate once you get your license, right? You're going to probably post and you're going to say, I work in real estate. They're going to know. But the thing is, they probably know multiple agents already. It's way more important that they know how and that you can provide value for what they're looking for. Okay, number 2, if you decide to work out of your county, make sure you have access to the lockbox. Now, being more experienced now, I would probably just refer my clients to a trusted agent in another city. Number 3, another one related to if you decide to work out of the county, use all your resources to become an expert in that county. Number 4, always look out for your client's best interest. Number 5, the 3-part lesson. Number 1, provide such a great experience that your clients want to share that with a loved one. The second part, make sure that your clients who want to buy are able and ready to purchase. And last but not least, have a system and processes in place to guarantee your client success. As always, thank you so much for watching my videos. If you found this video helpful, please drop a comment on your favorite lesson from the video. And as always, if you have any questions, you can email me directly. And so my email, I did make a new email. It's darren@realdarrenside.com.